interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast. The gentleman you
Camera now, Shani, quiet. That's how you act.
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
You don't do the intro to the show, so you better think of something.
Look, I'll say welcome everybody.
What's the name of the show?
Project ETL.
Oh shit!
What's the name?
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show?
Oh wait, you told me.
Oh man, is this recorded?
I
She's
did.
good. We got her. You're our opening
I'm
slam.
so sorry. Oh no, honey, we were so sorry.
Today's supposed to be the what? What's today? Ideally, today's the day of love. Yeah. Today is Valentine's Day. Today is the second month, 14th day, 2018.
2018.
We still here?
Yeah. No Korea ain't bombed this shit.
Oh man. How's baby fingers doing? Who knows?
Who knows?
But everybody, we have a celebrity in the house. You can tell the man cave looks a lot more feminine, and I love it. I'm here to tell you I'm about it.
I don't know, man. We did have to make water accommodations.
We had to make
and fan
accommodations.
And I appreciated that.
Pillow accommodations.
I sure did.
And I'm here to tell you guys it is true. The women will ask for the world, but they really just want the moon. Because I gave her the pillows on the floor. I'm not mad about it. I'm just here to tell you.
Notice when Eric came in Korea, Eric took his shoes off.
It's true.
And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to say nothing to her because I'm pretty sure Eric gave her the lowdown. So she she's like, nah, not for me. Don't care. Is it a house? No. Okay, then we're not going to go by his rules. All right. So, you guys, this is the Identity Booth. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is. I'm here to tell you that we've been working on our sound quality. Please forgive us for the episode before this, episode 5. Really rough, but this is episode 7, so we've definitely got on it. If you want to keep in contact with us, our Instagram and our Facebook page are now up. Eric, can you give us that?
It's at The Identity Boo on Instagram. At The Identity Boo on Instagram. And in our Facebook, we have a Facebook page. It's a group and a page, but it's The Identity Boo on Facebook as well. So if you're interested, leave a comment. We'll make sure that we have it down in the drop down for you. So please go check out that Facebook, check out that Instagram. You see the post that we put up, please like or comment. Give us a thumbs up, man. Give us a heart symbol, whatever, on whatever platform you're on, so we know that you're listening.
Cool. And our celebrity today is the always gorgeous, always classy, timeless. You might know her from the previous statements such as, I love my wife.
Yes.
Quoted by Eric.
Yes.
You might also know or recognize her by, this is my woman, and I am man.
Exactly.
Quoted by Eric also. Shani, we're welcoming you to the page. We're welcome to the Identity Booth. How are you?
Thank you. I am very well, and I'm so glad to be here.
No, you're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell us, what's your favorite color?
Oh, the funny thing is, I didn't know purple was his favorite color till last week.
We learning things about each other.
I was like,
it's a daily process.
It is a daily process. I was like, I love purple and blue are my favorite colors.
No, I said color. You just picked out. See?
Okay.
Why are the rules? Do you have like a bad girl streak or something? You don't like rules or something?
Purple and blue. You can mix
Violet
the two colors
is her
together.
favorite.
Okay, violet. All right.
We'll give her the spectrum.
That'll work.
Okay, violet.
She can't give us a hue. She gets a spectrum. You see what I'm saying? It's women.
Favorite place you like to visit or have already been in the world?
Oh, I want to go to Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica.
Jamaica?
Mm-hmm.
Her dad.
Yeah, my grandfather's from there. I've never been.
Rastafarian.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. If there was someone you wanted to have dinner with other than your husband, dead or alive, who would it be?
That's a very, very short list. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Is it?
Ain't nobody
okay.
getting dinner with me. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Eric not only picked a dead person, he picks a white dead person. So I was like, Yeah, I mean, anybody?
No, Warren Buffett was alive.
Warren Buffett is alive?
Warren Buffett
He
is alive. Yeah, he's not dead.
You know what I'm thinking that Rockefeller dude with the 7 hearts.
Nah, I revive him and kill him again.
Oh my gosh.
No, we have to because that dude is like evil.
It's a banking, one of the
He
founders
collapsed
of the banking
28.
system. 1929.
Yep.
Stock market.
So who we eating dinner with?
Yeah, I'm thinking here. You know what? This might be cliche, but honestly, Jesus.
Oh.
I would really love to have.
Into the I
would. I really
love.
would. There's so many questions that I would have for him. Seriously.
No, you would be right, but the question is, how would he get through immigration?
Yes, that's not happening.
Because he's not having.
He looks like an Arab.
Nah,
He's not getting through. He's got a cloak on.
I'm here to tell you, if Jesus came back, Jesus would be waiting in the FT10 line.
It's very true.
And he would come up and be like, I'm here to save the world. Yeah, get to the back of the line, baby Jesus.
Right.
You know, your dreams.
Yeah.
It's customs.
They be patting him down in his cloak to see if he had any weapons of mass
Why you got
destruction.
fish on you? What's wrong? What's this?
What's going on?
All right, baby Jesus. I'm not mad at that. Hey, it's appreciated, it's loved, and hey, I would want to know what the God of Son, the Son of God. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But we aren't here to bore you guys. We're here to talk about seven fundamentally sound things that have kept you guys together. And just for the record, how long y'all been married, Eric?
4.5 years.
Is this true?
It is true.
Ah,
and
damn
I have
it.
to, in his defense, he knows it better than I do.
Okay.
He does.
Now,
He
All the
does.
dates, all the time.
She's now allowed me to transition, so the next pop question. Wait, I have them all written here, so it's coming. So 4.5 years of love.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet, Shani?
In Tampa, Florida.
Eric?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn it, all hell.
Yeah.
All right. So Shani, why don't you tell us about this relationship, this love, this thing that you have for one another. And you can be start just generally about it, but tell us
that's a funny story.
How'd you know he was the one?
Oh, that's so funny. I get that question so much, really, when people ask about relationships. I knew he was the one. The funny thing is, I really knew he was the one when I knew he could put up with me. And I know that sounds so bad, but it's true. It is because according to my dad, I'm very spoiled, and not bratty spoiled, but I am spoiled.
She just expects certain things.
Yeah, I
but
do.
every person has, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and really, he treated me so good. That was the thing. He
Take
had
notes.
yeah.
Take notes,
he
y'all.
treated me so good, and I knew that he loved people, but he loved me unconditionally. That was the thing.
All right, and you guys aren't aware of this, but I got 5 questions from viewers, and I told them they're excited about this, so I'll be asking you guys those questions at the end of the list. But as chivalry isn't dead, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, so then ladies go first. What's number 1 on your list, Shani, for the 7 things?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, the 7 things you need to know about love. And Shani, if you want to talk to the soul of the people, look them up and let them know.
I will. Can I give my disclaimer? So I did have more than 7 things.
Of course, you're a woman.
But I know that they said just 7 things that a woman needs.
Let's pause right there. Let's put a pin in that right there.
Yeah.
Men, this is a part of your role. No, I know you have all these things, but honey, I'm gonna need you to narrow that down to this. That's
true.
part of what our responsibility is.
True.
Anyway, continue.
It is true. So I did narrow it down. All right. So my first one is understanding. Understanding. Please write that down, Heero. Understanding.
Wait, hold on.
Is this a class now?
I could have had a girl here. I just wanted to be original. I don't want to be like, so how'd y'all meet? Well, we shit Tinder. Okay.
Oh Lord, Tinder.
All right, understanding, and can you go into detail with that? Why is understanding important?
My goodness. Because this is the thing. If you don't understand where a person is coming from, it's very hard to be on one with everything. Because that's really, really important. And I think, we met in Bible college, right? And a lot of people think, well, you just have to have the same faith and all this stuff. And it goes way deeper than that. You have to be on one accord. Even, there's things that my husband golfing. Guys, I can't stand golfing, but I will be his number one cheerleader and I will be the water girl. And that's the thing. So you have to be able to come to, not really compromise, but to understand the differences and appreciate the differences too.
And just a brief on understanding. So, and I heard you mention faith and religion in that aspect. And Eric, I don't know if there's I'm Muslim, and at least 90% of the women I date are Christian. And and the relationship could be going great, but once they find out that aspect, which I find extremely strange, when my last name's Abdullah,
yeah, they should know.
You should figure that out. But maybe it's just the class of women I'm dating, man.
You gotta help me hook you up. I'm really good at that. Really good.
Let's look at some IG posts later.
Okay.
but for the most part, the thing that I found to be really interesting was people don't understand that aspect. And it'll be strange to me because this person would have laid down with me, this person would have gone to dinner with me, but they hear one new fact about you and it kind of throws everything out of the loop. So is that something you call understanding? Like they lack understanding? Or was it a fundamental issue?
It's both. It's both because I think the one thing with Eric and I with him especially, he put everything out on the table. So I could really understand him. Because if I didn't know really, and the thing is, you don't look at the past of the person, but you do need to understand where they're coming from so that you guys know how to move forward together.
Okay.
That's really important.
All right. Eric, what's your number one?
Numero uno is listen.
Listen. You listen or they listen?
They listen.
Okay, they listen.
Listen, that's got to be important. And the reason why I say that is because I've had so many relationships, not even including women, just people in general. I really began to realize as I got older how little people listen to each other. People just have conversations and they're waiting for the pause so that they can say whatever they've been thinking for the last 2 minutes. Not actually listening, processing what they've heard and then formulating the appropriate response. And it kind of goes into understanding, even behind the listening, is the ability to process the information you've received and then base what you've heard in correlation with that person's character. Like, there have been times, I know me and Shani have had this conversation, especially when we first got together. I was like, hear what I'm saying and take what I'm saying and compare it to my character, my integrity. Don't hear something I say and assume something else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's listening is a very, very big important, because I realized, and I watched it growing up, there's certain relationships and people hear things and they assume other stuff. And so I for me, that's a big one. And it's kind of in line with what Shani says, understanding.
Cool. Back to listening, as this is fundamentally sound, because I feel like we do, especially in this culture today, there is a disconnect. I'll slide in a girl's DMs is considered to be the way to go, but that same person you just slid in their DMs, you can't have an open conversation with them in broad daylight. Meeting them is difficult.
Yeah.
So do you feel like if people had, I always make the correlation, if people were blind, we'd be a lot more attentive.
Yeah.
That's a sacrifice though. So when it comes
That's good.
when it comes down to that second set, when it comes down to recording or not recording but listening, do you feel like there are certain steps that need to be taken, like eye contact, physical attentiveness? Are there certain things about listening that lets you know someone's listening? Because me, for example, you could ramble off all day, and I'm not going to make eye contact with you. I'm not going to physically respond, but I can rattle off everything you said to me. Is that considered listening?
Yeah. Some people, I think it's based on the person, because some people want to see that you're engaged, and I think that's more or less a ladies thing from my personal experience. If they don't understand as guys, I can look dead at you and your mouth's moving and I can nod my head and be somewhere else. So the fact that I'm not looking at you doesn't mean that I'm not listening to you. It just means that that's not necessarily the body language.
And I like to call that the difference between listening and hearing someone. Because I'll hear you all day, but I won't listen. And listening also involves just going, not beyond, because when you hear someone, you just have information. But when you listen, you have the ability to make changes. You have the ability to take actions.
Yeah.
So that's 2 solid first starters. Like listening, because I don't. It's hard to listen in the bar. You know, and the girls. All right, let's go number 2.
In the bar, I'm just trying to get to number 7.
Hey,
Exactly.
you said 7 what? DJ, turn it down. No. All right, so number 2.
All right.
Shani, hit me.
Number 2 for me, or for women.
For you.
For me.
Is this for like for me or for everybody?
She's running by some people that she.
I actually have. I had some friends over at my house. Shout out to y'all last week, and they did give me a. And I went through it, and they were like, "Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah."
All right.
All right. So 2, affection. All right, so this is very broad, right? Oh gosh, not like that.
Hey, PG-13 now. Come on now. Hey.
So affection. So the funny thing is, there's so many different ways, right? You have PDA, public display of affection, which really we don't do much of. We just really don't. We're very
and I'm very curious about this because public displays of affection psychologically has the internal effect of making you shy away. If you walk upon somebody doing that, your immediate reaction is to look away. Mm-hmm. Is that something you guys just in generally don't feel is necessary, or it's just not your character? Because I understand people want to be able to show off their partner. So showing off their partner to them is very important, and you can't show them off just to yourself. You have to show them off to the world. How do you do that without showing that public display of affection?
I think for Shani and I, we had a different, I guess we use the word, courtship. Just the constraints we had from where we went to Bible college didn't allow us to actually have a formal dating period. That didn't happen until we both graduated and left and moved completely out of the state. I mean, they were pressuring us to get married. We weren't ready to do that at that time. And so we actually had to learn how to be friends, We had to spend time not touching, just being around each other and getting to know each other and hang out. And we weren't allowed to be out together by ourselves. We had to be in a mixed group. And so it kind of forced us. I mean, in hindsight, it was actually probably the best thing for us because it forced us to really focus on, do I like what's inside this person? Yeah, the physical thing is cool, but does she have a good heart? Does she have similar morals? Does she have similar character? Is she thinking along the same lines? Because, I'm about taking over the world, and I was like, I can't be with a woman who wasn't talking about it, And so I think the PDA thing for us kind of came, and it actually never came, even after we were just together by ourselves, because that wasn't something that we were into. Like, we were very private with that. I mean, like we didn't kiss each other until our wedding day, and we didn't even do it at the altar. We did it privately after we left. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for most people, that's not normal. Yeah, they don't think of that. But I was like, that's a moment. Like the first time I do that, the moment I want that to be private, and even those moments, like intimate moments, I'd rather keep those private.
All right, and like, and I speaking from just the wild child perspective, I have I don't give a damn. But like that's just me. I'm a little bit. Early on in my life, I was very conservative about how I do that, and even with those, and I figured that eventually in my lifetime I'd have to learn how to be comfortable in public because whether I like it or not, whenever I do step outside, everyone sees me.
Yeah.
So like, I have to be comfortable with that. And there was a lot of girls that I remember not being comfortable doing that with. But like, definitely in this time and age, like 21, 22, 24 even, I was coming there. So like, what does public display of affection mean to you, and how important is that to you?
It's important. But to me, there's limits too to that, right? Mm-hmm. So like for me, I love when we hold each other's hands, or when we, I might peck him on the cheek or peck him on the lips, but it won't be like that sloppy. To me, that actually makes me uncomfortable, even if I do that to him, and he's my husband, And I think because I'm always very concerned about how other people are feeling too.
It does, and this is coming from the Wild West. Who gives a damn what other people think? You got the ring. Kobe, you got the ring.
It's true.
Who cares? Because homegirls don't have the ring for me, and I lay it on her. But it's like, is that level of restraint what helps? Like that ability for you to control yourself, even at your most like vulnerable situations, part of corroborating this idea of love, you know.
Yeah.
You feel like that's important? Okay.
I do. And, you know, just like what Eric said earlier, because we had the constraint from the college we came from where we had to really be friends, and it was the best thing for us because, you know, this whole like falling in love, falling out of love, and I know we'll talk about that later. It is, you know, love really is a decision, and affection is a decision too. And so we just decide, okay, this is what our limit is going to be together in public, and then in private, you know.
And I'm going to say this, like as a guy, I think the best thing for you to do is to not do that with a woman up until a certain point. I can't say don't do it if that's something you like to do or that's something she wants. But how you gonna tell if this chick's genuinely into you or she's just genuinely into the physical is by setting those hard boundaries. And how many times I met girls before I got married to her, and you know, mean gorgeous girls, most of them had their head on them straight, but you know, when they find out Eric's celibate, Eric doesn't do that, he's not doing that, I'm not gonna kiss you, I'm not doing none of that stuff. It's like, that'd be cool, oh, he's interesting, he's different, and then they slide off.
And I feel like I get the polar opposite of that situation because I was sort of a big deal in college. I was the football player. Yeah. But it was always looked at as if the stereotype for me was always if I'm talking to this girl, oh, Heero's killing that, he's smashing that, and I can't tell you how many girls I talked to in college, and I mean I don't even know what their hair smells like because I've never been that close to them. It's just this misconception about me, and a lot of women probably figured that out. Granted, I definitely was a wild child, but like I wasn't by no means like someone who was just like smash and pass. Like no, it's a fundamentally sound argument you guys making about those restraints, and I'm here and I wonder to myself as I even sit here, how certain relationships I was in would have been if there was an idea like, oh, we're not going to take those steps or we're not going to do those things. Because I also feel like, you know, people will use like sex and lust as a bargaining tool. Like
control.
Yeah. Or control.
Yeah. So those are good points. And you hear that? Both of you ladies and men, don't give it up. That's what they saying. I'm going to give it up. Hey, Carl. No. Eric, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is respect.
Respect.
It's, I mean, I wanted to make it number 1, but I felt like listening. But to me, it was like a tie, but I just had to notch it under. But to be honest, like, ladies, listen. Respect is paramount to a relationship. What does respect mean? Let's break it down a little bit. Respect is not what you think respect is. Respect is what he thinks respect is. Respect is honor. And unfortunately, it's crazy because, you know, Heero, I know you're from, you know, another country, and I know especially just all my African friends, like, the culture of honor there just is shocking. We don't have a culture of honor here. Mm-hmm. And to me, honor is putting the other person above yourself, is thinking about, hey, if I do this or say this, how is it going to affect this person? It's the complete opposite of selfishness. The absolute opposite of selfishness. And in it, there's an element of humility that you must have. And it's not a superiority thing. Submission doesn't mean, you know, that you're a slave. Respect doesn't mean that you're not a strong person. It just means that you recognize that because I'm in a relationship expecting for it to be long term. So I need to honor him right now and continue that honor. And actually the honor should increase over time.
And that's a great point because you brought up like the honor respect. And I know Eric probably caught this, but when I just met Shani today in the flesh, but instinctively I stuck out my hand to shake her hand, and she opened up for. But like, this was more of a respect thing for Eric and for her because it's considered to be a sign of respect if you shake someone's hand, but it's considered a sign of camaraderie, friendship, a bond of beyond like friendship when you embrace somebody, because that's the first. But I first have to let you know that I respect you because this is the first time I've met you.
Yeah.
If I never shake your hand again, it's because we've already passed that.
Exactly.
And I can't stress that enough because like people won't understand me. I tell this all the time, like, I don't need anyone to like me because I don't like anybody. But that's how you know everyone is treated fairly by me. I don't like anybody. So everyone's always going to be treated fairly by me. And it's not because I don't need to like you. I just need to be able to respect you. And you have to be doing something of a respectable nature. So it makes perfect sense if you can't look your partner in the eye and say, hey, look, you know, whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, I have a certain XYZ amount of respect for it. It kind of makes whatever they're talking about non-void.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. Respect. Shani, what's the number 3 for you?
All right. Number 3 is leader. This is a big, big deal to women. So let me break this down because I see your face.
Yeah, because I was going to say, leader.
All right, leader. It's, exactly. The whole caveman thing comes out. So, you know, not taking us down as, you know, I think as women, and I know this will be a whole nother topic about this whole submission thing. That's a whole nother topic. But as women, especially being a leader, as the type of woman that I am, I don't know if you would call me an alpha woman. Would you? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You just met me today. But, but okay, well then I am an alpha woman. I know I am. But anyway, I needed someone.
Humble brag.
But I did need someone that could really kind of be the leader, be the one to say, okay, you know, honey, one thing I have to say though, my husband always asks me my opinion. And I always appreciate that. He asks my opinion, but he'll make the final word. He'll make the final say-so. Especially when it comes to life-altering decisions. We always talk about it. We always discuss it. But as the leader of our household, he's the one that makes that final say-so. Because the reality is you can't have two heads. Just can't have it. It's just not going to work in a relationship. You have to have that one person that's leading.
Have you ever seen somebody try and put two heads through a single shirt?
Nah.
You want to know why it doesn't look good? Yeah, because it's only designed for one. But doesn't mean that the body can't be controlled by someone else. That's a very good point. And leadership, because and that's strange, because like that's strange to me because that's your number 3, leadership. And is there times that like obviously as the leader, when you hear leadership, you're hearing somebody take the lead. They're supposed to be in charge. But what you're even saying to the extent here is part of being a leader is understanding when you're not in control of the situations, or vice versa, of letting situations you are in control play out differently just for camaraderie. And that's all you psychology buffs out there, that's what we call groupthink, which is the myth or the psychological paralysis of basically subduing your own personal urges for the group to succeed. An example, if you want a whole bunch of people to, we're going to go down here and start protesting this, and somebody says, maybe we should do this like peacefully, and the other person's like, no, we're going out with pitchforks. You as the third party will be like, just so that there's balance, I'm going to agree with one half of the group, therefore it's 2 against 1, and everyone polarized, cools out. So that's a great point, and like, an alternative way of looking at leadership, because innately I'm thinking leadership like, what you mean, like you in charge or not? It's not about that. And Eric, what's your number 3?
Number 3 is work hard.
Work hard.
Yeah, man, you gotta have a hard working woman, man. Like, you know, I've known where I'm going, and I know what trajectory I'm on. I've been like that since I was 23 years old, and so. It's funny, when Shani and I lived in Florida, we had a preacher tell us one time, he said, Eric, man, he said, in life, man, you run 100 miles an hour. He said, and one day you'll look over and you'll see a woman running 100 miles an hour too, and you guys just join hands and keep running. He said, if that's not how it is, then you don't need to be with that person. And I've never forgotten that, because that made sense to me. Like, I'm on the same path, going as fast as I can, and there's a suitable mate for me doing the exact same thing, and we just link up and keep going. And hard work, unfortunately, I found out today is a difficult thing to come by. Like, I see a lot of ladies out here, they do the bare minimum. They do the most until they get a guy, and then they slow down. It's like you'll be a pedal to the metal. I mean, you'll be in the gym, you'll make sure your hair is done, whipped, nails done, whipped, car situation straight, crib situation straight. I'm out here career focused, and then all of a sudden, I slow down because he's in a good situation. I can just kind of kick back.
That's called the freshman 15. For all you guys wondering, and is that a problem? I mean, like, is that a notorious problem, so to speak? Like, Shani, do you feel like women become lackadaisical when they find a man?
Sometimes, yes and no. Sometimes. Now, I'll tell you, from my perspective, mine was, okay, you know what? I'm, in relationships is 100, not 50-50. So I knew that I had to make sure, because when he met me, I was a hard worker. Mm-hmm. And to this day, even 4.5 years later in our marriage, I'm still a hard worker because my hard work and my diligence didn't depend on him. It depended on me continuing being a hard worker. That's really what it came down to. And honestly, I just I never liked laziness. I never liked being lazy. I mean, that was never part of my character either. But I think sometimes with women, they feel, and I can't tell you, I hear sometimes from women, I just want a rich man. I go, well, it's so funny. You want a rich man. Why don't you become rich and then you can get into that arena of where all those rich men are. You guys can mingle together.
That's a novel thought.
Yeah. I want a boat. Well, you have two choices. You could buy one or make one. Which one's easier? Yeah. Valid. That is a good point. Yeah. Eric was 4.
That's Shani.
No, yours was
Yours was 3? Okay, so number 4. The funny thing is we totally did this not together. Hard worker.
Hard worker is number 4 for her.
Oh, I was like, hard.
Yeah,
okay.
Hard worker for me is number 4. TLC, shout out to you guys. We don't want scrubs. That just does not work for us. I'm telling you right now, if we're gonna be a hard worker as a woman and as a wife, the man needs to be that.
I'm gonna throw a devil jab right now because I swear I be seeing people on the grind. Homeboy driving the Coupe de Ville from 2008, pushing it, broke down on the side of the road, but he got the tools in the back to fix it. He's working 3 jobs. He's trying to make it, doing good for the one kid he's got in that legitimate, and he's trying his best. But I don't see him getting no wins in that column. Like, is the stigmatism of I want a strong man, a hard worker, I want someone who's established in hard working, or someone who's hardworking in general, because a janitor works hard too. But I don't see too many people lining up to be with the janitor.
So here's the issue. When I was younger, before I left Texas to go to Tampa, I mean, I look at myself, man. I worked hard. I mean, I had the clothes. I had all the right this, that, and the third, but I still lived at home with my grandma. And I could afford to live on my own. I was making like $45,000 a year. Managing a retail store, and I was just reckless with my money. It wasn't that I had a problem getting up. I just wasn't being as responsible as I could. Fast forward, I get laid off my job. Now I'm bumming. Now I got a beat up bucket car. Mm-hmm. Girls weren't trying to look for that. What it is, it's appearances. I feel like the culture makes it about appearances. I mean, when you can go on Instagram and put 50 filters on there and people can believe you live a certain way and don't know what you did to do that, it's a lot different. So I realized, like, when Shani met me, we ended up working at the church we went to school, and Shani made double what I made.
I made more money than him.
Shani never paid for a date.
Yeah.
Shani never did nothing. Like,
and I had the car too.
I didn't have a car.
He didn't have a car.
Well, what it was is Shani saw that I put in more hours than anybody else in my class of 400. I was there because I had to be there. I'm there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't leave till 2 or 3 in the morning, just because of the work I did. I was the audio and the video guy, so I edited all the video. We had a nightly show for 6 nights. I had to stay and edit the video every single night, and I couldn't leave until it was completely uploaded to the FTP server. Mm-hmm. If it malfunctioned the next day, it was on me. You know what I'm saying? So, and she knew that. I mean, I had no car, so I'm walking. But she recognized that it's different. Like, and a lot of ladies, I feel like, because they want this thing right now, and not understanding that diamonds take time to develop, you know, and
if you don't keep the pressure, they will revert back to what
exactly
they were carbon.
And that's what I'm saying. So the difference between, I can say about between my wife and a lot of the women that I've encountered is that, especially women now that I'm older, they see me polished up now. But they didn't have to grab me out of the dirt like she did, wipe the dirt off, and polish me up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't get to reap with somebody else where somebody else sowed. Like, and I feel like that's a big part of the problem. They don't want to really look and say, okay, he's here right now, but this is his goals and this is his dream and this is his plan that he's been working on before me and is still working on now. He's with me and he's on the right path to get there. And if I come alongside him and help him, he could probably get there faster.
Yeah, definitely. And just a last point about hard work. How important, Shani, to you is it that he's able to facilitate that hard working through trials and tribulations? Because if you're only seeing the positives, like, is it important for you to see your significant other struggle before you make that decision?
Yes, and we struggled. Y'all, we struggled. I have to tell you, the first 3 months of our marriage was spent in an extended stay. And you know, and that's our first time saying that publicly. And I really want people to know that, because I think sometimes people see us now and like, oh, we're so happy. We live in uptown in Dallas and all this stuff. But guys, we struggle and
we slept. We ran. We got locked out of our extended stay.
Yeah, we
for
did.
a few days because we were waiting on our paychecks to come in. So we had to sleep in our car in Virginia in the middle of a like a record-breaking blizzard.
And just got married.
Man, y'all shit was forged through fire and ice. Like,
you know what I mean?
It's a song of fire and ice.
Yeah. And that whole, like, for richer or for poor, those vows, I mean, they really, really come into play when you get married. So either you go through that in the beginning, or you go through that in the middle, or you go through that, you know, everybody has their struggle, especially whether you're married or not in relationships. There's always that kind of struggle. But you just have to know you're going to be in it.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with still just trying to open doors for women. And I appreciate you guys giving us that real ass moment, because, like, that's stuff people need to hear.
Yeah.
The rate of failed relationships is a minute number compared to the failed marriages that are going on. And when you're already at a disadvantage of having people who can't find their way in a race, can't make themselves in a social economic status, they can't prevail in any form of demographics that they're being compared to with their other hostmates, it makes it almost imperative that your best line of support is your significant other.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, let's take a pause. And Eric, we're on number 4. So, what's your number 4?
Cook.
She needs to cook?
Got to know. And I'm not talking about burn in the sense of everything she make is Cajun. I'm talking about, like, it's got to be beyond edible. Like, not just bare minimum. I ain't talking about no top ramen. And I'm not talking about scrambled eggs either.
Okay, and let me just, because I'm a better cook than most women that I dated.
And that's sad.
But I feel like that's also a cultural thing, because they can't make no pounded yam. They can't make no agusi soup. They're not making these.
But they should be taking, if that's what you like, why can't they? You look, Google it. Do anything I want to know how to make, I can find on allrecipes.com. I can go on foodnetwork.com and find a recipe. And they got videos to tell you step by step how to make it.
You can't use
Serious, there's no excuse. You know what that to me is? It's just lazy and lack of effort.
And I'm, I'm a good damn about 290. I'm a growing young man. So it's important that but like, I don't really think women understand to the extent why cooking is so fundamentally sound. Because when I told this there, one of the most, like, egregious things you can do, even if you don't have much of anything. When someone comes to you, you can at least offer them a cup of water. That meal, that something to ingest, because it says two things. One, whatever I have is also yours. But two, it also says, if it's good enough for me, it is good enough for you. And someone who doesn't necessarily cook is out in a certain set of ways saying, your well-being is not that important to me.
And on top of that, ladies, listen.
That's true.
If you can't cook or you refuse to cook, you got to think about it. You're sending me a subliminal message that my physical well-being is of no concern to you. The way that I know you can satisfy me physically is with food, and it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything emotionally.
And that's the funny part, because I was definitely, my plan was to, and I totally forgot you didn't eat seafood, so I'm happy I didn't cook it. But I was
one of us.
Both of us. So my whole plan of I was gonna make the infamous 3 shrimp dip pasta, but I had to throw it out the door, and
you would have had to.
We couldn't eat it.
Yeah, I would have been looking at you like, you know what?
Tracks would have been closed.
Yeah.
Give us some
Happy Penny. It's 50 for you. 50 for you. It's supposed to be 100 of those. Don't talk.
Yeah.
Get in the car.
Yeah.
But it's so mind numbing to me that cause when I learned how to cook, I spent a lot of time in Nigeria, and I got a sense of taste for these things, and I traveled all over the world, so I got a sense to taste eating. And just how you're being serviced, it goes a little bit beyond, because it also sets up a precedent, because it's what does it really take for you to feed someone? And also, what does it mean to you when they're happy, when they're full, when they're excited? Because I'll tell you this now, you want to know what's going to bring, this is something that's been established in everyone's mind. What brings you home every night as a young child and you have a mother who cooks? Food. It's not gonna be the street lights. You'll get a whooping. But I've legit seen grown men on the court up by 7. Hey, bro.
Bay said food was gonna be done at 7, bro. It's 10 till. We got the dip.
Hey, y'all got my next. I've seen grown men get mad on the court, you're not about to leave in the middle of the game. And he's like,
yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
I'm taking off my shoes. Hey, bro, tag, you're in. And it's it just goes without saying. It's something that's been cultured and nurtured into young men. And the part that irritates me, I guess, about this topic is it's not supposed to be something that you're submissive about, because it's something that you should be. It's a humanity thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, we live in a country, the greatest country in the world.
It's huge.
It's huge, beautiful, great, big one, bigly. And our culture is a culture of consumption.
Yeah.
What part of when did it become a negative for us to provide for one another? It's wrong. I feel you can stop me if you think that this is something conjecture, but I feel women take that part of in the kitchen to be. I'm not that, and it's part of, and I feel strong. A little bit comes from that feminist movement. Yeah, get out the kitchen,
domestication.
But I'm hey,
idea.
The reason why a woman is the most important part of a relationship is because they have to. I feel they have to do the most. They have to take on a breadth of the relationship and be the supporting ship. You're not the captain, but you are the vessel in which we ride in. I might lead you, but I still need that vessel. And if a captain doesn't have a boat, he's useless. You know what he is? He's just a dude.
Exactly.
He's a dude.
And the thing is, what Eric is not saying that, women, you have to cook 24/7, because the reality is this: Eric can cook better than me, hands down. He really can cook.
And I actually probably do the majority of the cooking. But Shani, you know what the crazy thing about my wife is? She always finds the perfect time to make me food. When I'm just out of it, or if I'm coming home from work. She texted me yesterday. I was on call. And she texted me about 6 o'clock. She said, "Hey, I'm just getting home from the gym." No, I take it back. It was early in the day. She's like, "I'm making brunch. Are you gonna be able to stop by and get food?" And I was just like, if I would have known about this case maybe 30 minutes earlier, I could have stopped by. But the fact that she actually thought about it And it's not that she would have just paying me lip service. Like, she really was going to do it. Like, we wake up, especially on the days when I'm off, we lounge around. Usually, she makes food in the middle of the day, and I usually end up cooking dinner. That's just kind of how it falls.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that partnership. And I also remember, like, my dad is a slouch compared to my mom in the kitchen. But on the grill...
Oh yeah, on the grill, hands down.
But, like, you know, and these are things that as a child I grew up remembering to think about. Like, my mom would always say, I always said to my mom, and I found it to be so strange when I saw my dad first grill for the first time. I was like, Mom, I thought you did all the cooking. She said, there's just certain things that your dad is better at.
Yeah.
And when I heard that for the first time, I just made it into my mind to be like, I want to be better at what my mom is doing versus because I'm still to this point, I'm abysmal. My brother, Luke, he's a better grill master than, but I am a better cook in the house as far as in the kitchen. And I think the only person who has a shot against me is my younger sister, Nafi. Yeah. She might be the closest next to me, but like my mom has tasted my cooking. She's just like, your presentation is horrible, but it's good. so it's not
right here, Mom.
It's not aesthetically pleasing to my eyes, but you know it's great. And those are things that you know are heartwarming for your mom to then come back full circle to say like this was good. So I think that's a great point. Like cooking for a woman who can cook, and I'm here to tell you, you know the best way to win an argument, girls, itis. Like if he passes out in the middle of the argument, you win. And whatever you wanted to get, you get. Like, that's it. But, Shani, what's number 5?
Oh, attention. Oh, and you said it earlier. Let me tell you, Heero, you said it earlier. This is the thing about women, right? And I'm just, I guess this is like a generalization, but we need attention. I don't care what women say. We need attention. And we need your undivided attention. So the funny thing is, so I feel like sometimes it can be opposite with men and women. So when I ask Eric to listen to me and give me his full attention, I need him looking at me. Like, I will not have a serious conversation with you until he's looking directly at me. And it was funny for him to say that even if we're looking at you, we're not always listening. And
I thought about that for a second. I was like, hey, boy, you giving out trade secrets. Come on. Stop, man. We on camera. Giving out trade.
Like I don't know.
You giving out trade secrets.
Long enough to know.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I do.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. We just need attention. Even if it's like, you know, a quality time, kind of all that gets mixed in together. But we need that undivided attention, even if he's been out all day and he gives me 5 minutes of undivided attention, I'm fine.
And I guess, like, the thing that I'm an antisocial, sociable person. Like, and what it means by that, you've been through my man cave. You've seen, like, it was dark as all dark in here.
She used to that, though.
Yeah.
And but me personally, as a person, like, you have to be talking about something. Mm-hmm. Something that, and I feel like this comes down to me being, I'm definitely sort of a selfish person in the conversation, because if it doesn't benefit me, I won't listen to it. And as a forensic tech, everything is innately a toot to me. So it's like, I'll hear everything, but you have to be able to zero in on the facts.
Yeah.
And I always compare listening to, like, women tell me about their day as, like, my niece. There's no setting. There's no proper pronouns. It's just, this person came into the room and said, give me a stapler. And I looked at them like, I'm an administrative assistant. You are not an administrator. I can't assist you. And I was just like, wait, where? What happened? Who is this? Are we talking about a Becky here? And no one seems to like thoroughly understand like my dilemma here, because like I was telling, I really want to hear the story, but I'm writing a comic book, so settings are important. Yeah. I never knew how important setting was till the day I drew a comic book strip and looked back and said, the backgrounds aren't the same. And I had to redo the whole page. Yeah. It's aesthetically important to me that I get keynote details. Yeah. But when the keynote detail doesn't, like, speak to me, I don't know how to focus in on it. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's part of the growing pains. You have to just sort of, and guys, you're going to have to just buckle up and just take that L. Like, you have to do it. And I've noticed it in my past relationships, and also even in current ones, where I hear things, but there's something that I always initially, social cues. Mm-hmm. I'm not for social cues. I don't get them because, and people rely a lot on them. I'm all about hearing what someone has to say. Like, if the house is on fire, I don't need you to say, hey, I smell smoke. No, I need you to say, hey, I think some shit's on fire, because you smell smoke all day. Like, But like these are things that are aesthetically pleasing to me more. So like that level of communication. So like, do you feel like part of the communication has to do with what you're talking to your significant other about? If Eric's been gone for 18 hours, he's drowsy-eyed. How important is that 5 minutes to you? Because I feel like the better we understand how important it is to you, the better off we'll be. Because he's thinking of two things, sleep or eat.
Right. And I will tell you, okay, so after sometimes he'll come home from work. In the beginning of our marriage, I didn't understand. I wanted to put all of my day on him in the beginning. And I remember something my mom told me when I was younger, and I didn't really kind of get to it probably until our third year of marriage.
No, we were married a year, and it took a while.
About a year?
It was pretty much through the first year of our marriage.
Yeah.
She figured it out.
Yeah, and I figured it out. But it's funny because, so my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I thought she was just saying this because she was a stay-at-home mom. But, I mean, I kudos to stay-at-home moms. Kudos to women that are out working their career. Both are very, very difficult to do together, whether you're a mom doing it at home or out. And one of the things she told me was, she said, when your dad gets home, he's had such a long day that he literally needs to just come home and rest. And I don't tell him about my day. I give him food and I let him go to sleep. And sometimes I remember my dad coming home like, oh my gosh, she's so lazy. Like, he doesn't want to talk to my mom. She said, but I've learned over the years that I need to give him time to settle because men's minds are totally different than women.
All right.
Now, on the other side of things, he also knows too, when I'm coming in from work, he might have that day off and I'm coming home from the gym or working with clients and things like that. He also will give me my time too. So, I mean, men and women also need that as well. So it's kind of, tit for tat.
Yeah, you got to let that person dictate to you what they need. So, like she said, on my days off, my room's dark. I don't leave my room. I'm on my computer. I'm doing my financial stuff and listening to sports talk.
I did a horrible trade yesterday. I'm on that movie account.
Nah, that's okay. That's what it's there for. But, so she'll come in, from work. She'll say hello, And if she comes in the room, then I know she wants to talk. If she doesn't, I don't bother her. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of, over time, you figure those things out.
Yeah, and I feel like social cues are a lot better off after you've had time to truly develop them. Yeah. And I really feel like people rush that whole getting to know somebody. And hopefully we up to 5. Man, I hope y'all learning something because I know I am. I'm about to go out there and find me a mate. So, Eric, what's number 5 for you?
Hygiene/cleanliness.
Hygiene.
Yo.
I thought women are significantly cleaner than men.
No.
Isn't that the stereotype?
It is a false one.
Women don't fart.
They smell worse than ours.
Oh, man. Man.
Shani needs more matches than I do.
No.
You see
It's kind of true.
Hey, but that's how you. That's how you know you love somebody when you open the bathroom. They're like, ooh.
Yeah, and he'll walk out, and I'm like, just don't
burn
come
my
back.
nose hair. Yo, dang, let me close
and I'll say this, and I'll definitely say this, because I have 2 bathrooms. So like, I like I said, no one's ever made it past that door. So whenever there is, I'm like, don't you dare. Because I'm in this room. And I will admit to this. There was this stigma as growing up, and it was just lack of maturity where I was just like, women are always supposed to be clean. Women don't take dumps, and women don't. But now, and the worst part about it is, like, I had a sister who did all of those things. Nafi, I'm putting you on blast. I also got to put Nafi on blast about the tax thing. Nafi, I haven't forgot about you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. And it was just a coherent thought to me, like, why women's legs are always supposed to be shaved, their nails are always supposed to be done. And then I met a girl who told me, oh, you want shaved legs, nails done, hair always looking good? If for you, anything, honey, but I need some support. And it wasn't until I started paying for those items that I realized, like, Hey, it's winter time. Put on some pants, pantyhose.
No. That doesn't work when you in a bed and then they trying to cuddle, bro, and you get a leg on your leg and it's all stubs.
Oh,
that doesn't work, bro. No.
As a young, real ass woman, as a young child, I used to find that so like. I don't know. Maybe as a young child, it was just I used to rub my cheek on it as a young kid. But like as I got older,
older, that's not cute.
That's not cute anymore, and it's just like I used to think to myself. So like, are you saying hygiene in the sense of like, how important is it for you to also be comfortable with the anatomical things that women do, like?
Oh, you as a man,
the periods, the everything, like you have because I feel like guys are afraid of that.
I'm not. I never was. I'm like. I grew up in the house with, my aunt, my grandmother, my mother, and my mom was, at a young age, schooling me to what that meant and why. You know why? Because when I was a little kid, me and my mom used to go to the laundromat together. I taking her clothes out the dryer. Mom, what are these red stains on your pants?
That's good.
And she had to sit me down at 8 years old and say, tell me what a menstrual cycle was. Oh.
And I remember because I remember having to go buy my sister all her first like feminine care products because my dad is so funny because like my dad is definitely like detached socially.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't know. He gave me the birds and bees talk at like 21.
Oh my goodness!
But we passed.
But that's my dad. Like he and my brother's obviously taking her. He doesn't know how to be emotionally attached. Mm-hmm. Like his significant weight. Like I remember I went downstate. I lost the wrestling match. Mm-hmm. I went like 114-1, and this was like the big match. He didn't go, and he got there. By the time he came to pick me up, I had already lost, and he was just like. Oh, he didn't know how to say like get better or you'll be fine or better luck next time. So the thing was he just remembered Heero had been talking about the iPod and damn it, it's not here. But
it's on the table.
You saw it. That iPod is a 5th generation from 2007, and I still have it because that was something that he fundamentally found fond. Like I was fond of. So like that was his way of saying, hey, look, I'm sorry I missed it, but I'm proud of you still because I didn't have to say anything. But it is a problem for guys. Like to come to terms with women as they are, like women as they come. Like I remember how many times have I been in clinical trials where I labor and delivery, and I always tell the guy, have a seat. He was like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm like, have you ever had sex with the lights on with her? And he's like, yeah, a few times. I said, then you need to have a seat because what you saw is not what you're going to see today. Yes. And 9 out of 10,
it's like
I'm catching them.
Yeah, regurgitating.
I'm catching them mid-fall, and I'm giving them Epsom salt to be like, take a deep breath of this, you'll be fine. Yeah. And it's shocking to them. And I don't think it's until, and I'll say this about a good friend of mine, Jennifer, shout out, baby coming soon.
We love babies.
That until you see your woman at this new propagation, there's another level of love and affection you have for them. Like, this guys be like, he told me like, yeah, man, I still have sex with my wife. She's 6 months pregnant. I'm like, but he explained to me like, no, bro, like that's immaculate. She's carrying my child. And like, how do you not want to touch her? And I always tell myself like, but I remember you was complaining about her having hair on her legs, and he's like, new levels. And it explained to me this one where he said, yeah, I shaved her legs and painted her toes, did her toenails for her. Why? Because she can't do it anymore. She had a belly in front of her. So like guys truly do mature.
Yeah, they do.
When your woman forces then this is what I say about when women accommodate your flaws with an effort of changing you, because no one's going to change on their own. Mm-hmm. Pain, love, and pressure causes people to change. Those 3 things, as far as I'm concerned, those are the 3 things that have molded me to this point. And the pressure is the aspect of this. When your wife, who's carrying your child, your most prized possession in one, says to you, I want to get my toenails done.
Let's go down to the shop. But if you could take it a step further, there's also protective nature. Because also as a man, you don't want your wife moving around when she has kids. That's something else. They're very overly protective. But I don't want her toes jacked up either. So I have no experience with that.
So they always tell you and I've seen guys get on YouTube and learn how to do it. Just to appease her. And that's That's maturity at its finest.
Yeah, that is.
And
I
I
love that.
Oh no, most definitely. You know, you do whatever.
So
but,
like hygiene,
but like basic hygiene and cleanliness. Like, make sure you take a shower. I'm talking about basic. Like have you ever had a chick that you let's just say you knocked the chick down. I mean, you've exchanged bodily fluids, and we can leave it at that. And then they just put their clothes on and go out about their day.
and I'll say this.
It's nasty.
And I dare you, right in the comment section, I dare you, find a girl. Any girl that's ever slept with me, I provide towel, washcloth, and a change of clothes for the night. But before you
do sleepovers?
Oh, I do sleep. Hey,
okay. Heero does sleepovers.
Hey, you know what? Because the truth of the matter is, like, this is me coming to a sentimental moment. I don't want to feel like, oh, that was great. You know, you don't got to go though. I don't want to feel used.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, like I don't want you to feel like it's game over. Like,
you can go home.
Yeah, like this isn't a service. I mean, yo, get comfortable. I got change clothes for you. And if you got like clothes that can be like washed and dry, I'll put them in the washer and dryer for you. Mm-hmm. They'll be ready for you in the morning. And it's like they'll be like, no, this is it. But then the part is where you got to be. It's 12. But okay, general rule: 12 o'clock the next day. You gotta go. You gotta be gone.
Oh, is that an unwritten rule?
I mean, it's an unwritten rule.
It's like, hey, what time is checkout time at the hotel?
Yeah, at the hotel. Yeah, it's 11:30. But if it's 12 o'clock, because like I'm telling you, like
Because
I'm gonna be like, oh man, I got
exactly, my day needs to start. It's not necessarily I don't want you there. If I had it my way, if I could go do the things I want to do, and you were still there, I'd probably be okay with it. But the fact of the matter is, we just met last night, so I want to get my day started. But like for all intents and purposes. Some women will be able to state this. You know, this is another tail secret. If you get pancakes in the morning, blueberry, or any form of pancakes, you did a good job the night before. If you don't get pancakes, hey, you didn't pass the test. It's not mean you're disqualified from further attempts, but that's a telltale sign.
But even speaking of that, let's say you don't. It's not at your crib. It's at her crib. Let's say you go to her crib. Dirty bathroom will get you disqualified.
Man.
And I'm not talking about cleaning your bathroom because you know I'm coming by. Like, we just happen to be out on a date and we decide, hey, okay, well, we're close to your crib, so we go back and your bathroom's immaculate. I'm going to love you. I hate dirty bathroom. Put your makeup away. You don't need all your makeup, all your hair care products, all your extra crap out. Your trash can's not overflowing. Your toilet's clean. The floor's clean. The tub is clean. No rings, no dirty stains. I walk into your room, you have clothes thrown everywhere. I'm out of there.
Like,
I just shake it.
But and that's a great point. Like, and I guess that speaks more to like a house general thing, because like I know in my Sunday's cleanup day for me. Now when we do the podcast, man, I'm not trying to impress her. I will say, I definitely spruced it up a little bit. I swept. Shani came through. She had said she used the bathroom. I didn't hear you, so I felt
Shani said you have a nice bathroom.
I hope I got that on record.
Heero got a nice bathroom.
And Shani said I have a nice bathroom, so I was very proud of myself. I was
very impressed. I was like, wow, it's so clean in here.
And I was just telling myself, you know, because. And I'll tell you, it's a different story in the other room because that's my room. But like Sunday's cleanup day for me. Yeah. Like all week I accumulate these things, so it kind of sucks that you know what I'm saying. But like through a progression, for all intents and purposes, you don't got roaches running around. Yeah, you're gonna have your day-to-day issues as far as like, hey, all my scrub jackets are still on the couch, and I don't hang my coats up because I got a TV box in there. So it's like there's certain things you have to do, but cleanliness is very important. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Where we at? 6 was Shani.
All right, where are we? 6. Oh, well now, respect was down here for me for 6.
Man.
And I know it was up for guys. But, I mean, respect encompasses so many different things. But it's respect our differences and love me in them and through them.
So, and I'm definitely gonna challenge you on this because you have respect as 6. So you want your man to respect you behind being affectionate, behind working hard, behind being attentive, and behind understanding you.
I know it was hard. It was hard to put those before respect. But I will tell you, to me, and again, this is just my opinion. I feel like once understanding once affection, once all those things, leadership come into play, you'll have that respect there for that moment.
So, in other words, you're saying before you can even get to respect, you have to encompass these other things.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, what you got for 6?
Be healthy / fit.
Exercise. Know what? And I'm gonna stop you right there because I can't. If you're on Tinder, if you're on Black People Meet, or if you're on Soul Swipe, Bumble, and you're a Black female, I'm here to tell you, I will swipe right on you 90% of the time. 90% of the women are Black female. As long as you don't got 4 kids in the picture, you're gonna get a right swipe. The thing that won't get you swiped, the other 10%, out of shape, and it's.
They know they have a shape. It's just an undesirable.
You are so ruthless.
Oh my God.
And I have to hang with Eric because you can't hide. You can't hide. You can take 10 pictures from this angle. I know how heavy you are. You know how like Ray Charles could tell if a girl was big by looking at the wrist? I can tell by the outline of your chin how much you weigh. I can lay it down to percentages.
100%.
I can see it. I can tell. And it's a telling sign because I use a psychological approach to people. You have to be, first of all, a little bit of a psychopath to just put pictures out of yourself in hopes that someone finds you attractive. But in your bio say, let it not be about my looks when the first thing we see are your looks. This is a premonition of primal instinct. We first desire, then we attack. You first feel hunger, then you go hunt. Simply, there's a cause and reaction. I'm never going to be attracted to someone about their knowledge until I've actually seen them to assess their knowledge. So when I see you and your first 5 pictures are all face profiled, no body, no full length, you're wearing shades, for you to take a picture to show your beauty and it to be of you with sunglasses on intuitively tells me that you're not happy with the way you look.
Exactly. And that if I can't see your eyes in your photo, like if I can't, even if all the girl had was one still of her face, I don't want makeup on it, and I want your real hair, and I want you to look dead into the camera because people don't understand. I can tell everything about a person when I look in their eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's painful to me also, and I'll take that step further. You're right. Like my hair, like it's fucked up for a reason. I do it on purpose. Yeah. Like I just want people to understand. Like I'm so comfortable with being me. I'm willing to put it out there, and I dare you to say something. Yeah. Heero, you should tidy up your hair. You should tidy up your face. Like, and then all of a sudden it's a debate. It's like, but the fact of the matter is, I've seen so many women. Like, I remember I canceled a date. Like she came up, she had contacts in. I was like
colored contacts.
Yeah, and she's 26, and I was just like, when did you become so uncomfortable being you? Like I really wanted to assess this, but first and foremost, I was like, man, it's a nice restaurant. I'm not about to waste money here on some blue contacts. But being physically fit will also make you a lot more secure with who you are because I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. Luxury to me, I can lift 400 pounds straight off the ground. So I'm happy to be able to say, I'll work out with you. I'll run with you. I'll train with you. And I feel like for you to say that you, and just like with the hygiene, for you to say that you want your girl to be at a certain level of cleanliness, as same thing with physical appearance, you have to be willing to put a little something into it as well. Yeah. If you're telling her, hey, look, the cornbread is working, but you need to get the muffin top under control. You need to also be able to say, I'm about to run this 2.5. You ready?
Exactly. Yeah. I agree.
And I completely agree with that. I don't think guys who aren't physically fit or healthy themselves or aren't in progress to that point should demand something of the opposite sex that they're not willing to themselves do. However, what I will say is, for me as a guy, and this is just like what Heero says, this is primal. When you talk about mating is primal. So I'm looking at a lady who's overweight, not healthy, isn't mindful what she eats or drinks, puts into her body. She doesn't work out. What that's telling me on a primal level is I don't have any longevity with her. I'm going to outlive her. She's not a suitable mate to procreate with. That's the subliminal and the primal, like, just base instinct signal you're giving.
And that is so great, because, like, I remember, like, 21 Heero wouldn't be dating the girls he's dating now. And it's because 21 Heero was more concerned with more physical than, like, genetically suitable. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. Okay, if my son did want to play football, if I'm dating someone who's 4'11" with a nice ass, how's that going to help him? Like, genetically suited, hey, how'd your great-grandfather die? Oh, cardiac arrest? Wait a minute. So, what's your bloodline? Hypertension, diabetes, circulatory issues? Normal? Like, no. Your bloodline, especially like me coming from a very pure bloodline where like we've never been mixed. Every one of 1,000 people have integrated within each other. And me to be the first generation, me, my brothers, and my sisters to be the first generation, the next leader of our generation will not be a pure blood. It's imperative that I'm able to identify like a suitable mate. Yeah. Because that lineage is forever. And it's
you know, it's funny, bro, because I've had so many conversations about it. Shani asked me, Eric, would you, if you never met me, would you marry outside of your race? And I said, as radical as I am, I don't think it would have been comfortable for anybody outside of my race. I said, however, if I did, the person would have to be, you know, at least 5'9". I mean, have excellent bone structure and have excellent muscle mass. Like, I mean, you just from the waist down have to be solid. You know, just because I'm thinking the same way. Like my kids, I'm thinking of my kids.
I'm hoping our kids have his height. I'm like barely 5'.
And it's not so much like height, but when it comes straight down to it, because like now that I'm older, I say to myself, my kid will probably never play football. He probably won't. 100%. And like he can play because I only got into college off of football for 2 years of tape, so he could probably walk on and get in, but he won't play under my roof. And it's more so for health things. I'm not going to sit here and say I want you to be more rich than your brain is suitably comfortable. We already know that there's no way to protect yourself on the field anymore, and you're not going to be a quarterback. You're 300 pounds, kid, so you're going to have to be on the front line and you're going to hit every day. Period. So with that in mind, I said to myself, the same thing. I wouldn't have like for me, dating outside of my race isn't an issue to me. The problem is women aren't looking at me. Like white women don't fight. They are terrified of me. They cross the street and they want.
I don't want our video to cut out. It say battery low.
Which one? Where you see that?
EOS.
Oh yeah, it's game over. Once that's out, that's out. Like I don't have no choice because and I won't be able to upload it or fix it until it's in. But basically, like I've had situations where. Like white women have approached me and black girls will say to me, "Oh, I know white women are all over," and I'm like, "No, they into those Drake ass motherfuckers, like big boot wearing ass motherfuckers. That's the people they like. Not for me." And like I've definitely talked to girls outside my race, but it's just not something that I find aesthetically pleasing. And it's not from the say of that person or standpoint. It's just if I woke up one day and I saw a kid and someone told me that was my kid. I have an idea of what he looks like without even looking at the mother. Exactly. So it has nothing really to do with you. Yeah. It's more so I know what my vision of what my kid looks like. And this is to say, I might walk out of here, this video post up, and you see me walking around with a Norwegian girl. I'm not against that. And anyone in my family who doesn't agree with that, hey, kick rocks. Exactly. Because my wife, my kids, my future family is going to outlive you. Exactly. Yeah. So hey, you don't have to like this. My mom knows that. Something that I know my mom knows without me even saying this is like if my mom doesn't even like the girl I'm dating, she knows better than to say anything about it. Because she, in her mind, I'd much rather put up with this annoying woman than lose my son and him forever. And that's something that's a bargaining chip. My mom will smile. The day that my mom tells me that she didn't like, and probably gonna be on her deathbed. God forbid I never see my mother leave me. But that's what she's gonna tell me. She's gonna be like, and that's it. and because she knows that's the best way to do it. But like it's aesthetically pleasing to just have someone that looks like you. So that's a great point. And Shani has no problem with exercise because that's what she does for a living. So
personal trainer. Shani.
Shout out, Shani, do it.
Shani_health nut on Instagram. Hit her up, personal training. She done it. She been doing it for over 10 years. She works at Orange Theory. She probably gonna be working at another gym. Getting busy. She has a couple of private clients that come by the house. They get personal attention for an hour. I mean, they basically get an ass kicking for an hour. That's what I'm gonna say.
And we're gonna put that in the link in the bio below. Hit her up, ladies. Get in shape, cause I ain't gonna talk to you till you do. What's number 7?
Okay, thanks for the shout out, guys. Okay, so last one, intimacy. I don't think I need to.
Wait a minute.
Really...
Number 7 is intimacy.
Yes.
But didn't you say something about PDA?
Oh, that's 2 different things.
Oh, okay. This is an adult podcast, so I need you to explain.
Yeah, affectionate intimacy.
What is intimacy to you?
It's sex.
Oh, okay,
But it's more than that though too. It's the foreplay. It's the talking. It's the sharing of your deepest secrets with each other. It's all of that.
It's that pillow talk.
It's that pillow talk. I was just gonna say that.
It's that butt naked conversation.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
This is the identity booth. You need to identify yourself.
Okay, I identify. But it is that intimacy of, it's that face-to-face contact. As close as you can ever get.
And that is something that I find very interesting, because it's almost to say like we sort of long for that level of intimacy, but the process to get to that point is tumultuous at best. Like some people really find it disconcerting when like you have a one night stand, but you see people are very comfortable with it. And I always say to them, maybe they're just comfortable with the idea of having someone at their most vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And being able to be vulnerable with that person. Mm-hmm. The problem comes when that time is over, what happens to the rest of you? Yeah. So, that's a great point.
But I love that you said vulnerability, though. It is. It's sharing your most deepest thoughts, your fears, just everything with that.
Yeah, man. I'll throw this out there. Man, me and Shani's life plan has come in the bed. On early in a Saturday morning, like we talk about things. We plan our whole life in the bed, literally. And it's funny because we have the bed in the right. On my side of the bed, I have like this chalk calendar. It's like a huge, 3 foot by 4 foot calendar, and it has like a strip on the side with a list of stuff. And we plan our whole life out. And I'll get up out of bed. We talk about something. Oh, let's write that on the board. Oh, let's do that. Oh, this date. We plan our whole life out. We talk about everything. We talk about what's going on, and it matters. And guys is like, and I'll say that because for my number 7 is the same thing. It's not intimacy. I just put please your husband. That's what I put on. Please your man, whatever situation you got. I ain't telling you to go get married tomorrow. Even though if you are a brown person, after I get done with this point, we're gonna address why marriage is paramount for you, black person. Please.
He's talking to me.
So, this whole thing, man, because you're in the most vulnerable state, listen, you're in a bed with somebody, you don't have any clothes on, so they can see everything about you, all the good things and all the imperfections. They can see, you're completely there, and there should be no shame in that moment. Yeah. And so you shouldn't have any shame to say, hey, I'm thinking about this, I was dealing with this, and the other person to reciprocate in kind. It matters a lot. And I feel like if you don't have that, if you just get in the bed and you sleep in the bed and you just have sex in the bed, it's not as sacred as supposed to be. Like me and Shani have our room closed off. We don't let anybody go in there because that's where we plan our life. And I'm talking about beyond kids. I'm talking about literally every single plan we have is initiated there. So people want to see our bedroom? No.
Yeah, we don't have anybody.
Who the fuck wants to see something?
Because where we live, people come by and like, ooh, can I see your bedroom? No.
Wait.
People ask, bro. Every time they come up with a crib, they want to see the bedroom. Nah, no.
We just don't ever show that part.
That is strange.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I never asked to see anybody's bedroom.
So, these are the top 7. For Shani, respectively, it's going to be understanding, affection, leadership, hard work, attention, respect, and that sex. Yeah.
Well, intimacy. I said intimacy. There's so much more than sex. Intimacy.
You know that thing. And for Eric, we're going to have number 1 going listen, respect, work hard, cooking, hygiene, exercise, and that naughty dog. And these are all... And once again, I can't stress enough, this is the 7 things that work for them. Mm-hmm. But it can help you. There's things on this list I don't necessarily agree with. I challenged positions on this list. And I even drew comparisons where hard work was number 3 for Eric and hard work was number 4 for Shani. These are the things that you compare. These are the things you understand. But what's most important, if you take anything from this, is do what works for your relationship. Absolutely. what's going to make you and your significant other happy. Like, it's painful to see how many people, anytime I see relationship goals, you ain't even had a successful date, and you talking about relationship goals of them. And everything looks better on Instagram.
Of course. So I don't buy into it. And the thing about the list, the most powerful thing about the list, though, is that there is actually a list. See, people put expectations on other individuals, and they never quantified or gave them a measuring stick. See, Shani, the reason why we have these is because we've sat down and talked about these things for years. And so she can never say to me, well, I didn't do this because I didn't know. And I can never say that to her. I knew, because there's a list. So if you want to be in a relationship and you haven't quantified or qualified attributes, morals, or character traits from the other individual that you desire, you can't be mad when they don't do those things. So,
and this is something I'm going to take with me. I'm going to definitely create a list, and I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to allow people, before you spend the $60 on a date, let them know, hey, this is what I'm expecting, because whether you like it or not, time is always running out. You might as well let it run out on something that you care about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Those are the 7 things you probably need, you might need, you definitely need if you're single on Valentine's Day, gonna need for a successful marriage. I'm not even talking about just dating. We want to get past basic understandings. And part of identifying how to get past basic settings is figuring out what the people who've already made it done. And I have 2 people here who've already found their way through love, and I have multiple friends. So shout out to G, shout out to T, for all those guys who took the leap of faith and are going down that righteous path with a partner. Because whether you like it or not, company, whatever it is, misery, love, attention, affection, it loves company. And it's important to go through life with someone who values those things with you. So without any further ado, we're going to wrap it up. Eric, where can they find us?
Oh, man. First of all, on Instagram at The Identity Boo. On Facebook, The Identity Boo.
All right. And if they want to yell at you about something personal, where they gonna find you? Because they don't gotta yell at me.
Well, they can yell at me there.
Okay, so yell at Eric there. But if you want to send out specific questions, like the people who sent out questions when you look at the next video, you can hit us up at project_ETO. That's gonna be for Instagram and Twitter. If you want to hit me up directly, Project ETO. Which one am I talking about? Which one I want to use? Yahoo. So project_ETO, yahoo.com. That'll send you a direct link so you can send a message. The messages I did get were from Gmail, so people have found that one even though I didn't put it out there. But project.ETO1@gmail.com is where you can find me. I found it so strange that people email me there, but hey, that's where we got the questions for today. And Facebook, Instagram, you guys can really just hit me up anywhere. Somebody even asked me a question about it on the comic book page, which I was like,
we'll take it. It
more
is
power
a
to you.
comment.
And we are on iTunes. All those links will be put in the description below. Me and Eric were thinking about, I haven't even talked to them about this, so might be like some of it. But I started up a Patreon for the Stranger Things comic book. Okay. And I'm thinking about doing that. And the way Patreon works is basically, if you like this dialogue, you think is necessary, if you were walking down the street and an X amount of money fell out of your wallet and the wind took it, how much of that, what would that money sign be that you wouldn't pursue it? Like, be like, some kid's gonna find it and buy some. Whatever that amount is, chuck it into the Patreon, and we'll take it like that. You guys can become a set of viewers, and like I said, all it does is give you guys extra content. And for anyone who does donate, we will have specific content for you guys, like special reviews. Black Panther's coming out. Maybe you'll get a commentary. Heero has the plug, so you might see the movie early, get a review.
Well, I'm gonna need a phone call on it.
Me too.
Oh, see, now the wife said I said too much. But this is what we're trying to do, and just extra commentary, extra dialogue, and we also think about probably putting the financial aspect. Like I've put the $500 in, but I'm using this account right now where I have $100,000 and I've lost $10,000. So, and I'm here to tell you how not to be me. So we'll probably put in that extra information. But the Patreon link, if it's available, it'll be in the link in the description below.
Yeah, and if people do get on the Patreon, what we'll do, the in-depth knowledge on the finance stuff will only be for the patrons.
And that's going to be coming straight from Eric. So, like,
yeah,
that's going to be great. I feel like it's definitely beneficial, definitely useful to you guys. But for all intents and purposes, thank you guys so much. This has been the Identity Booth. This is Heero, Eric, Shani, our lovely guests. Thank you so much for being with us and giving us your just those pertinent information about how to be successful in your relationship and how to be. And we truly want to thank you for being open and giving us the ability to see you at a vulnerable state and talking to the people for real. Like, because I feel like people need to know this. It goes without saying. Shani, what's the name of that place where people can come get in shape so that I can holler at them? What's your business?
Shani Thomas _health nut.
Okay, so y'all go hit her up on Instagram, follow her, get some blessings. Because I'm not talking. Listen. If you out of no. I'm not gonna go, but we really enjoyed. Thank you guys so much. It's been an awesome show. Thank you guys for all the love, support. Everything's been going great. Our numbers are truly growing.
Yes.
Share this with a friend, an enemy, someone perfect stranger. Just say it. Whisper it in their ear and let them just go about their day. But we appreciate you guys identifying with us. This has been the Identity Booth. Thank you guys so much. This is all of us signing off.
Bye.
We forgot the clap sync. So let's go 3, 2, 1.